I have had, oh, let's see, about 4 pets in my lifetime, and it took a long time to get to that point, but I can certifiably say that I am a dog person, probably. I like all animals, don't get me wrong, except for maybe, like, reptiles and stuff, but I haven't had cats and dogs. I love a dog. I don't know, how do you guys feel about pets? What kind of pets do you have? When did you get your first pet?
Let me see. I did not grow up with pets. My father dislikes every sort of animal very, very, very strongly. So I do feel bad for him when we travel up to see him and we come with 3 dogs. But yeah, I didn't grow up with a pet, and I have only had dogs as an adult. I mean, we got our first dog after we were broken into twice, and the policeman who came said, "Get an alarm or get a dog." And so we got both. But I had cats briefly for maybe a month or two when my son rescued 4 8-week-old kittens that were abandoned in a park. So we had 4 cats and 2 dogs at that time.
Stress?
But since then, we've only had dogs, but, I mean, I would say I'm probably a dog person, although I like the idea of cats. I
Mhm.
like that they're independent and everything, but
I grew up with pets. I mean, my first pet was fish,
Oh, yeah.
and then my second was a turtle. I had a rooster.
Really?
I
wow,
had rabbit.
rooster.
I had a rooster that my cousin, Ron, they had it in their science lab and they injected hormones into it. So it was a mini rooster.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
I
even know
had
they
him
did
for a long
experimental.
time. Yeah, and then we had a dog. I got a dog. I am probably more I'm a dog person, but you know that I absolutely love cats and dogs. I like all animals. I grew up riding horses, taking riding lessons. I always wanted a horse, but that wasn't going to happen. Wanted a snake, used to catch frogs. My mother would make me take them back outside, but I love all kinds of animals.
I had a
I
bird,
Oh, we had cockatiels. I had a parrot.
Wow.
Yeah, before we had you, your dad and I had a condor, what is it? Not a condor.
Yeah, that would be hard.
It was a parrot. Yeah.
cockatiel, right?
No, before that we
Oh,
had a
sorry.
conure, Conure.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Stan the man. And but then a cockatiel, we had cockatiels. The last one lived 17 years till
Mhm.
you were in like middle school. So yeah, well, I love pets. I love pets. Now, I find it interesting because, Kat, you were talking about your dad, and I can say this as a Black person. There are those of us who, like, we've had friends who, I'm not going to their house. They let their pets into the kitchen, and, I'm not cooking. I'm not eating their food. They have cats. And that does not mean that you have to have your cats walking
Furniture,
on the
right, on
furniture.
the countertop.
When we got our first cats when you were in elementary school, you were young, one night, one cat jumped up on the counter and I said, "What are you doing?" And I took my hand and I slung him.
Mhm.
I said, and while I said it, I said, "No." And he slid off and it never happened again.
Right.
And that's all, it's like your kids.
Mhm.
If I tell you don't cross the street when we get to the corner without holding my hand, that's what I mean. And animals are so misrepresented and misunderstood. They do understand you. And
Absolutely.
while I'm on this, follow a few people, Jen and Farabee. Farabee is a dog who speaks with buttons.
Mhm.
And then there's what about Bunny? Bunny, Tenric, and Otter, and they speak with buttons. But there are countless other animals who are very, very receptive to the English language.
Yeah.
But even
Language
if you
learning.
didn't talk to them, they understand you. And what I
Absolutely.
would love to see people do is to engage more with their animals, with their pets. Like I watch people like walking their dog. One thing, I have pardon the pun, a pet peeve. Now this new trend or it's really, people used to do it years ago, taking the leash and putting it around their waist so their hands are free so they can look at their phone while they walk the damn dog.
Yeah.
But they're not paying attention to the animal. I saw a lady yesterday. This is a true story.
people put their kids on leashes
Oh,
too.
yes, they
It's
do.
crazy. And I saw a lady yesterday. She's walking with her husband. They had come out of a store. She's got this little toy poodle, and the poor little guy was putting on brakes. And she's just walking and literally dragging him on his pads.
Mm.
And he keeps stopping. He's walking and he's stopping, but because he's so small, he can't. And finally, she feels the tug. He wanted to use the potty, and he just wanted to stand there and sniff, and she stopped. But I mean, I wish people would just pay attention. Sadly, we don't have a dog now. When we started the podcast, we did. We was with us for 17 and a half wonderful years, and we had to make that decision. But one of the joys, it was a blessing and a curse, but really a joy was to take him for walks several times a day.
Yeah.
And I would pay attention to what he was paying attention to. And we would talk. We would see squirrels. We would see coyotes. We would see other dogs. We made friends. And I enjoyed that. And I realized how good it was for me, as well as him. So I was telling Jay the other day about I used to sit on the floor with him and I would say, "Give me a hug." And I would put his chest to my chest and I could feel his heartbeat. And he would put his head on my shoulder. And there is something so calming about that, right? Kat, you have 3 beautiful dogs. And there is nothing like just having the comfort of an animal.
It's true.
And we had a cat that was a stray, and someone took him 3 years ago. He started as a stray. One of my neighbors left him, and we took him in, and he got along with the dog. And I mean, I can recount when Jay's dad was ill, and I really had to take a moment and go sit on the front, and I was just uncontrollably crying, and he just kept bumping, back and forth against my back, like comforting me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wish people would just really pay attention to their pets. They're not just to be drug around. You don't just sling food at them. They do have issues. We started cooking for
They're
our
not
dog.
stupid, they have
They're not
emotions.
stupid, and they do understand you. So, and pay attention to them.
Oh, yeah, you can tell just by looking in their eyes, right? When
Absolutely.
you're talking to them, they know what you're saying.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to say one more thing. Don't crate them for hours and hours, or just find a designated area in your home where they can be free. If somebody put a lock and put you in a small space, would you be comfortable? Don't hit them because they peed on the floor while you were gone. They have to go when you have to go, and sometimes uncontrollably.
Right, right.
Something doesn't agree with them and they have to go, they go. Don't make them pay for that. I watch some of these videos I watch and uploads. People are really crazy, and don't get a pit bull and mate them. Don't get a toy poodle and mate them. Don't do these things to these animals,
Yeah, I see these videos. Well, I have all these rescues on my feed, and it's unfortunate because I would take in all of these dogs, but when you read their stories, it's like, oh, they were left in the yard when their owners moved. I'm just like, who does
How
that?
do you do that?
How in the world do you do that
Really?
to an animal that you
Those
took
people
in?
don't need animals.
Right.
And I say this, and I'm sorry because people may come for me, they may not, doesn't matter. Just like some people don't need to have children, some people don't need to have pets. And that's a fact.
Mhm.
That's
I've
what we're
lived
trying to
it
tell you.
to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For real. Yeah.
it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's very
Mhm.
true. And I'll say one more thing. I notice, like, when I'm driving at night, a lot of people will walk, their children as well. They walk without lights. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Very dangerous.
it's dangerous. And it's like, this is the only outlet they have. They are dependent upon you to go out and walk. And the least you could do is give them some light and some time and some good energy so they can
Some attention.
some attention.
Right.
Just like you want. I wish people would just change their views about animals and why we have them. Don't yell at them.
No.
Don't treat them with
if you
kindness.
look at history, I'm thinking about this while you were talking, like, what did people have dogs for, like, way, way back in the day? Usually as a hunting companion, right? They bred these dogs to have these traits, and they would take them out. So we were dependent on them for our survival. So you can't look at human history and not acknowledge the huge role that animals have played in our survival and our well-being over the years, like to domesticate these quote unquote beasts and have them be able to enhance our lives in ways that we could have never dreamed of. I mean, to be able to ride a horse and go meet family in a town over and all these amazing things that humans could not have done successfully
That's
on
right.
their own, you know?
That animal has to let you get on his back. Yes, you
Yeah.
break them. Yes, you do. And the other thing I'll say while I'm thinking about it is dog clothes are very popular now, but dogs have fur. Most of them, some are hairless, but it's 80 degrees outside. Don't put a freaking jersey on just because it's game day or you're wearing it too. Dogs do not sweat like horses or pigs like people do. They cool down from the inside out. All dogs are not jogging dogs. They need water. They need sustenance. These brachiocephalic dogs like pugs and what's the other one that they're breeding now a lot? They're stealing.
French bulldog.
French bulldogs. We witnessed someone jogging with 2 French bulldogs, and the
Crazy.
dog was almost passed out. And I U-turned, and she kept trying to make him go, and I stopped. And I said, "Your dog is overheated." He kept almost collapsing. He drank 3 bottles of water. I got out and I said, "If you don't mind, I really think that you need to take your dog back, but I'd like to give him some water." And I had a collapsible bowl, and that dog looked at me. Do you recall that, Jay?
Mhm.
So grateful. And I told her, I said, "You can get mad at me if you want to, but this is not the kind of dog that you should be jogging with."
Yeah.
The ground is hot.
In
They're
a
closer to the
California
ground.
Yeah.
Just because you're jogging does not mean your dog wants to jog. You might want to go for a 2-mile walk or a 3-mile walk, but not jogging with you tying him around your waist. People need to think. It's just because it's a dog, it's a dog. What kind of dog is it? Is it a jogging dog? Is it a walking dog? Is he a hunting dog? If he's low to the ground, he's closer to the hot concrete.
Yeah, only really shepherding dogs, right? Or like runners, natural born runners.
Dog will let you know if
They
he likes
also
to run.
Right. They also need to be aware, I mean, especially if you live in a hot climate, that, the sidewalk and the asphalt gets really, really hot.
Yep.
So you have shoes on, but your dog doesn't.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you another thing. Our dog never had a pup cup from Starbucks, and people are giving dogs pup cups. Okay, that's fine. But it really pisses me off when I see people go hot days, they get something. Our dog got a cup of ice from Starbucks, and he loved it. Sometimes it was water, but he really liked ice, so that's what we did. But I wish people would start thinking about that. Take water with you. If you go to Starbucks, get him a cup of ice. He doesn't have to have a cup of whipped cream to eat. Dogs need to be hydrated,
They're like, I always say, like, it's like having a kid.
It
It's like
is
the closest
exactly
thing to
like
having
that.
a kid without having a kid. Right? They
Yeah.
depend on you. You are their one and only caretaker. So they look up to you. And I think to be able to have to take care of them that way, that's a pretty good exchange for their unconditional,
It
unwavering
is.
love that they always, you see their little face when you get back from work.
That's right.
It's just the best feeling in the world. That's why I'm a dog person more, because a cat, like
They emote more. I
yeah,
guess.
they emote
They
more
do.
for sure. They're more like people, I guess, more like human beings. And cats are just like, you're like, hey, and they're like, yep, fuck you.
They're
Right.
independent. They're
Yeah.
independent.
Get my food.
And I'll say this too. You're talking
Smart,
about
though.
that when you get home. Like some people have yards. Clean up their poop just because you have a yard.
Yeah.
I noticed there are a lot of people who will let them out. They just go out in the yard. Do
Mhm.
you want to go shit somewhere on top of your shit that was there before?
Right.
When we lived in our house, I would pick it up or
Mhm.
hose it down.
Mhm.
You want a clean slate to go,
Mhm.
pick it up.
And I will say to pet owners, please pick up your dog's poop too when
Yeah.
you're out walking. Don't pretend like, just don't walk out the house without a bag.
Absolutely.
Like, be a responsible pet owner, because people who are not into pets, and they still exist. Some people don't like animals, and that's their prerogative. Please pick up your dog's poop. It's just the right thing to do.
And it spreads disease
Yeah,
if you
it's
don't
nasty.
for the dog.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I could always say as a pet owner and someone who lived in a neighborhood where there were other dogs. Just pick up your dog's poop. It's just the right thing to do. It's considerate.
Yes, because
Mhm.
some people have dogs that will eat it, and I would
Yeah.
rather they didn't try to
Wow.
eat some other dog's poop.
Serious.
Yeah.
We're pet friendly over here, and we hope that, I know you guys, Twitty Pot listeners, whenever you listen to this episode, you want to text us about a funny pet story you have, or just give a shout out to your own pet. Please do not hesitate to do so, because we're all animal lovers here. Anyway, take care. We will see you guys next week. Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in to another episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please follow, comment, and reach out on our socials. Also, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you resonated with anything in the episode, be it products or topics, make sure to check the show notes for additional information, or shoot us an email if you like. See you next time.